Welcome to Folktales of Africa. In today's story, the title is Munachi and the Talking Drum. It is a tale of compassion and jealousy. Once upon a time, in a distant village in eastern Nigeria, there lived a young girl named Munachi. She was very kind, but came from a poor background. Her parents had barely enough to feed the whole family, but they did all they could. Both parents were farmers, and Munachi and her siblings would join her parents to work on the farm because they couldn't afford to hire laborers. Some months later, Munachi's father fell sick, and the responsibility of farming fell on both Munachi and her mother. Sometimes, Munachi would stay home to care for her sick father, while her mother and her siblings went to the farm. Other times, her mother stayed at home to care for her husband, while Munachi and her siblings went to farm. Munachi had a friend named Eberechi. Eberechi came from an average family and did not need to farm because her parents had enough resources. As a result, Eberechi did not know what it felt like to go hungry without food. She had always wondered why Munachi always went to the farm with her parents, but that didn't stop her from becoming friends with Munachi. One day, Munachi and Ebere set out to fetch water at the village stream. They encountered an old woman carrying a heavy load on her head. The load seemed too heavy for this frail old woman, and Munachi wondered how she carried it. They greeted the old woman, and the old woman asked for help in taking her goods home. Instantly, Eberechi refused, saying, "No, I can't. Carry it yourself." Munachi then looked at Eberechi with a cautious eyes, and then she offered her help to the old woman. Then Eberechi shouted, "Munachi, I will not wait for you. You will come back and carry your bucket of water home yourself." Munachi ignored Eberechi and helped this woman carry her load home. Despite the responsibilities that lied on Munachi's shoulder, she still had the kind heart to help this woman. So she dropped her bucket of water, stepped forward, and took the load from the woman's head and placed it on her head. With a gentle smile, the old woman expressed her gratitude, her eyes gleaming with wisdom. "Thank you, dear child. Your kindness will not go unnoticed," said the old woman. Together, Munachi and the old woman walked towards the woman's house. Along the way, the old woman shared stories of her travels and experiences, captivating Munachi's imagination. Upon reaching the old woman's house, Munachi helped to unpack the item in the basket. The old woman's eyes twinkled as she observed Munachi's genuine concern for others. She was not just a kind and humble child, but a very considerate one. The old woman knew there was something special about Munachi. As a token of her appreciation, the old woman offered Munachi a gift. They were two uniquely shaped drums. The largest one was inscribed with the word power, while the smaller one was inscribed with the word love. The old woman held them out with a knowing smile. "This is no ordinary drum, my dear. It is a talking drum. But you can choose one, and choose one wisely." Munachi chose the one that had love inscribed on it. The old woman explained that when she got home, she should beat it with the right rhythm and intent, that it would convey her emotion, and then she should make a sincere wish. Munachi was surprised and grateful for this unique gift. She accepted it with a sense of awe, never having seen a drum like this before. With a heartfelt thank you, Munachi ran off to the spot where Eberechi left her bucket. She picked it up and headed home. As soon as she got home, Munachi called her family and gathered them in the living room and told them all about the old woman and the gift she had received. Then she took the drum and started beating it gently. Suddenly, the drum came alive, and the drum asked, What wish would you like me to fulfill for you, Munachi? Munachi then replied, I would like for my father to be well again. Instantly, her father's health improved. The whole family rejoiced and they thanked the drum. Tears welled up in Munachi's father's eyes as he realized the depth of his daughter's love for him. She could have wished for anything in the world, but she chose his health instead. Her father was so grateful for this. The next day, Munachi's family all went back to the farm since her father was now feeling better. They worked hard on their land and their harvest was bountiful. Every evening after a hard day's work, Munachi's family will gather around the fire for dinner, while Munachi will play the drum with a sweet rhythm that made the family happy. They listened with happiness to the beautiful sound that emanated from this drum. However, in the following months, there was a drought that prevented the crops from growing. Famine struck and there was no food from the farm. The village suffered from hunger. Remembering the drum, Munachi wished for food. Immediately, a variety of delicacies appeared on the table. Eberechi entered at that point and was surprised to see so much food. Munachi and her family invited her to come sit and eat. Eberechi ate to her fill and then left. Yet, Eberechi was not pleased with Munachi having so much food. Curious and consumed by jealousy, Eberechi went back to ask Munachi about how they got so much food. Munachi told her about the old woman and the talking drum. While Munachi was explaining, Eberechi thought to herself that Munachi was so foolish in choosing a small drum, especially one inscribed with love. What will she do with it, she thought. She then thought again, if I were the one to pick the drum, I would pick the larger one that had power. She imagined all the great things she could do if she had a powerful drum. Eberechi was so envious of the magical drum that Munachi had. She then hatched a plan to acquire one for herself. The next day, Eberechi went looking for this old woman to offer help with household chores. At the old woman's house, she pretended to care for this old woman, and after she had done all the chores in this woman's house, the old woman thanked her and offered her the choice to pick one drum. Quickly, Eberechi grabbed the largest drum and left without waiting for further instructions. The old woman grinned knowingly, understanding Eberechi's true intentions. Back home, Eberechi entered her room. Without even informing her parents, she locked the door and began to play the drum. To her surprise, the drum responded, "Eberechi, what do you want?" She eagerly responded, "I want to be the richest and most powerful in all the land." The drum perceived her lack of kindness and replied, "You do not have a kind heart, Eberechi, but I will grant you what you deserve." Immediately, 3 large strong canes emerged from the drum and flogged Eberechi until she finally ran out of her room in tears. Humbled by this lesson she had learnt, Eberechi eventually returned home and cautiously peeked into her room. The talking drum was no longer there because it had returned to the old woman's house. Through this experience, Eberechi came to respect Munachi's selflessness and the magical drum. She learned a valuable lesson about empathy and compassion and the power of giving. The lesson in this story is, we should learn to be kind and learn to offer help when needed. Selflessness and compassion can also lead to unexpected reward. Also, the value of choosing love and goodness supersedes power and selfishness. Jealousy and envy can lead to negative consequences and self-destruction. And remember, the act of giving and helping others can bring positive change and personal growth. If you have enjoyed our story, kindly like, kindly share, subscribe to our channel so that it will encourage us to create more stories for you to enjoy. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next story. Until then, bye.